Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. We are here and live for Morocco versus Croatia, Group F, match day 1. Let's see if Croatia do not repeat Euro 2020.
Premier League champions 2016, Leicester City.
Hope to see you soon. Well done. Bye bye.
Gazula, Giroud again. Joe Wilson. It's Gerrard. That's a great strike. McCracken getting closer. To the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. Van Persie arriving. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Robin Van Persie!
Sorry, guys. Yes, welcome to our watch along for my Morocco versus Croatia in the 2022 World Cup, right? FIFA World Cup, in Group F this morning. How are we this morning? Right. Sorry for the delay and some technical issues, but we've managed to resolve them. And actually, give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna get some ice for this drink. I'll be 2 seconds, guys. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe whilst you're doing that. We'll see what the lineups are going forward. There we go. Right, sorry about that. Just clear it up. Clear it up. Right, sorry about that, guys. I'm now back. I'm gonna have Manny coming on any second now. Manny, how are you, bro?
Yeah, good. Can't really complain. Sort of interested to see how this match pans out. Obviously, Croatia. I remember you saying that you don't really have too much hope for them in this World Cup. But listen, as long as they have Modric and Perisic and some other talent in their team, of course, this is nowhere near as good as the vintage of 2018. But some players from that squad are still there.
To be fair, like 2 years on, 3 years on from that, and the thing is, it's only been a year since 2021 in the Euros, and that's what I was basing it on. And the Croatia side in that Euros was awful. They were playing awful, and that's why I based it on there. And like Canada and Belgium, they're not easy teams by any means. Same with Morocco as well, with Hakimi. You've got Ziyech as well, but Amrabat in the middle, like Saiss in the back. So yeah, so you've got some good players there for Morocco as well, and that's why I was basing it off, because that they should have qualified out of their group in the Euros, and they got nowhere near it. And though we beat them in the opening day, but like I think even Scotland drew against them, I believe. Scotland finished ahead of them in the group. So yeah, make sure you're pumping the likes and hitting that subscribe button, please. If you could share it as well, share the stream. Make sure you can get as many people in here as you can as well. Obviously, more people, it raise more money for the charity. So yeah, any way you can get more people to watch it, it would be really, really helpful. But yeah, what did you decide to go for in this game, Manny? Like as a score, just
Well, I think I don't know if I sent you my predictions for the first game week. I think I did actually. I sent it in the private chat. I remember.
I've got them up. I've got them upstairs. So I've got to. There's some other. There's some others I've got to fill in, and plus I've got to fill out a new table for another one.
Yeah.
I've got to write it up in the.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a little bit harsh to base your chances for Croatia on the Euros because, listen, when you're talking about a World Cup, there are going to be a lot more teams coming in, yeah? Let's take a look at this Moroccan team, for instance.
Not really. They've got the same amount of teams in the World Cup you've got in the Euros.
Okay, I take that point. But then, you know, let's take a look at the teams in the group. I mean, obviously Belgium won't be easy. Canada, of course, coming in after, a long World Cup absence. And so obviously they have a lot of, hope with their squad. And they've selected a fairly powerful squad. But I believe that their relative lack of tournament experience will, work against them. In addition, you take a look at the Moroccan team. There are quite a few key players in that Moroccan team who haven't really been able to find the best of form with their clubs. And of course, we can't talk about Morocco without mentioning the likes of Hakim Ziyech, who hasn't exactly been pulling up trees at Chelsea. The person who normally is their first choice goalkeeper, Yassine Bouno, has had a very inconsistent season with Sevilla in La Liga. And I just don't see, them really making much of a
but then
being much of a challenge for Croatia. Let me just come in. I do take the point that given yesterday's results, you can't really say for certain that Morocco won't do well. But again, Croatia have this happy knack of being able to motivate themselves to raise their performances for tournaments like the World Cup. Maybe in the Euros, what happens to them in the Euros? Let's face it, it can happen to any other team. I mean, look at Germany in 2018. Nobody expected that they'd be bombing out, and obviously, that was a sign that Joachim Löw had done his dash and he had to go.
Yeah.
And now under Hansi Flick, I'm excited to see how they perform tonight.
Well, yeah. I mean, but to be fair to Morocco as well, yes. Modric has probably had still a good season at Real Madrid, as he does every year, to be fair. Kramaric is playing for Hoffenheim. He's only scored 3 goals in 14 matches, so he's having a bit of a different season, I would say. Perisic, we know at Tottenham, he's hardly been featured. Kovacic struggling at Chelsea. Lovren, who we know is rejected by, was dumped out of Liverpool in the end. So, and that's the thing. Like they in the Euros, despite yes, it can happen to any other team. They should be doing better than that. There is no excuse. I mean, the fact that if I go back to the 2020 Euros. So UEFA Euros, sorry. If I went to try and find where they were playing at. Give me a second, guys. I'll try and find it for you guys in a minute. Go through all the so obviously England having Croatia, Denmark, and the Czech Republic. And to be fair, you were expecting Croatia to come at least second or maybe even top the group against England, right? Because they did beat us in 2018, getting to the final. So compared to the final, it was atrocious, right? Because they should have been doing better. Like you can't get to a World Cup final and then be dumped out of the group stages of the Europa League just based. I mean, even the Czech Republic came third with 4 points to get into the knockout phase, right? Because they were the extra 4 clubs that were counted. So yeah.
Well, the teams are out. I'll be standing for the anthems. I'm not cutting you off.
You don't have to stand for the anthems, you know. I'll take the camera off. To be fair. Yeah. I mean, I try and stand for my national anthem, but if I'm obviously hosting, it's like for me, it's difficult. Plus, like obviously, not being in the greatest of health is like standing up could be a bit of a joke. To be fair, it can take like even standing up and sitting down can take a lot out of you. So, right. Anyway, going back to Croatia's lineup. Let me go back to their lineup. Let me show you the lineup. Make sure you're pumping the likes as well, smashing that subscribe button. Really, really pleased to have any of you in here today watching this one. So, you have Croatia, Livakovic, Ranovic, Lovren, Kvadio, Sosa, Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic, Vlasic, a lot of riches. They must get get a lot of itches. Kramaric and Perisic. Then obviously on the bench they've got Stanisic, Barisic, Eric, Maya, Gribic, Lavia, Pasalic, Petkovic, Budimar, Orsic, Vida obviously being a well-known defender, Luvlisic, Sutalo, Sosic, and Jakic, and then I'll try not to butcher the names of the Moroccan team. Bono and goal, Hakimi, Saiss, Saiss, who I think he plays for, Wolverhampton Wanderers. I thought so. Uguard, Mazouai, Onai, Amrabat, Ziyech, Amala, Boufal, Nisiri. On the bench, Hamdallah, Zarouai, Sabiri, Mohammedi, nice. I was thinking of the wrong one. Shea Obakali, Izalazulai, Yamik, Dari, Shedira, Tagnauti, Kanus, Benun, Allah, and Huabran. So, sorry if I butchered any of those names, but to be fair, their starting 11 looks pretty strong, Morocco, to be fair. Amrabat, we all remember, I think he played for, I swear he played for a Premier League club at one point. Let me have a look.
Watford.
Yeah, I think it was. No, it's a different one. It's a different Amrabat.
Nuruddin Amrabat played for Watford.
Who?
Nuruddin Amrabat. He was a part of the 2018 squad.
Sofian. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that it must be his younger brother. Yeah, look,
Exactly.
Nordin Amrabat. If I'm not mistaken, Nordin Amrabat is the one that went to. Yeah, there you go, Watford. Bang. So East, we all remember from Arsenal's game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Hakimi, we all know, has gone to PSG. So probably having a good season at the top of the league. Jones there. Big up all 9 of you in the chat. Big up all of you. Make sure you pump the likes and the subscribe. Follow Mr. Manny here at Fanga. I'm not gonna say
Yeah. It's Thangadorai 1981 on Twitter, and it's
Fanga.
Manny Thangadorai 1981 on Instagram.
Manny
So
Fanga. Is that
yeah,
it? Fanga.
more or less, yeah.
Sorry.
So
do you know what you
you're
should
all
do?
good.
Hang on. Do you know what you should do? Is you could put instead of your full name, like you could put.
You want me to put my Instagram handle or Twitter
Yeah,
handle?
you
Yes?
could put Twitter handle and Instagram handle on there as well, mate.
I could. I just
You could put
maybe I'll consider doing that. So listen, are they kicking off for you now? Because I believe
because the thing is that then like when you ask, like when you give out your name, your Twitter handle, they might not be able to spell the name right. So if they have it permanently there, they can quickly go to Instagram and look
yeah,
it and
I
look it.
agreed. I always tell them though that it's my surname or my full name and my year of birth. And if they look it up, of course, on Twitter, they will find you following me, followed by you, King Sight, and several others. So yeah, that should be fine.
Because when I've
just
done
kicked
Twitter,
off now, by the way. Just kicked off now
just
with
kicked off
Morocco
now.
attacking from left to right, and sort of been played back in the defense before being pumped up forward.
The other thing I would say as well, is that like because when I've looked on Twitter with the full with your full name and year of birth, it's like there's a lot of them as well. You do find a fair few, so it's getting the spelling right quite really helps as well. So yeah, amazing pronunciation, Steen. It's not. Wait, whoa. Oh. Don't know what that is, but turn it off. He has the same birthday as me. Laugh my ass off. Oh wow. Right, we'll see if Manny can get back to us. Hopefully, he can get my bloody phone today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that he doesn't have the same birthday as me, but maybe the birth year. We'll see about that. But yeah. So this is the start so far, and it's back with Yassine Bouno. And look, I get what you're saying about how obviously the result in the Euros was a bit of a surprise, but then you need to consider as well that Croatia have always
especially if you get to a World Cup final literally 2 years beforehand. If you get what I mean.
I get what you mean, but listen, shock results happen pretty much all the time. Teams can be caught cold. It can happen to anyone. So I still think that with the class, that Croatia have, and the way many of their players several of their players have been in more than decent form, the likes of Modric, Perisic maybe not so much, but he has shown that he still has the ability, and of course, a lot of these players I recognize will, be playing their last World Cup, maybe. Certainly Modric, Perisic, maybe.
Perisic.
I think they will be more than determined to, do quite well. But, Morocco do look quite lively. And Zlatko Dalic, of course, is the coach.
I go on that. But we'll see, because I think, the fact that Morocco are in this tournament is quite a good thing, to be fair. Draw Checker Boy versus Atlas Lions. Eredivisie, you happy with Angol? The Orange. His name's Tiho Moss. Tycho. Oh, and he's Dutch, and he doesn't like Max Verstappen. Old quotes. Canada is coming with it.
That's Croats, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Moss, calm. Don't need to rush into them things, man. Before you know it, the tournament's gone, and you've rushed your way through it. Like, take it chilled. Like, when the game comes, the game comes. Just like enjoy everything else that's going around it, man. Just like, because he's been non-stop, like 2 days, 1 day, and I'm like I know it's been 36 years, bruv, but like if you don't enjoy every single moment of the World Cup, before you know it, it's gone, and you never know. Like with Canada, you never know if you're gonna get back in it. You might be waiting for another 36 years. Like, hopefully not and I don't think you will with the talents of like Jonathan David and that, if you know what I mean, bruv. So like, so you just like enjoy every single moment, enjoy watching every team, right? Because before you know it, it's over. And there's no way to live your life as well. Because you take your time with your life, take your time, man. Right? Because before you know it, it's gone.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look right now at Croatia.
And I do that when I snap.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do that when I do that noise when I snap my fingers, because I can't do it. Because I can't snap my fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you can.
Sorry about that. But anyway, Croatia have a first corner. Is it Modric or Kovacic who'll be taking it? Kovacic as well has been key for Chelsea, so he's an important addition.
Yeah, to be fair, he's not had a bad time at Chelsea. It's just Chelsea been poor, that's all.
Exactly. And you can say the same for Thiago Silva, who was selected in the squad along with the likes of Dani Alves ahead of Gabriel Magalhaes. Interesting story. Alves, all of 39 years old, was selected so that he could babysit Neymar.
Yeah, Moss, I'm gonna have to pop out. I'm gonna pop out with my mum to do like some shopping, and plus I do need it as well. I need some. There's I love to be on here all the time, but there's sometimes I need to get out, and I need to get out and get some. I mean, it's not a nice day outside. It's fucking miserable. It's raining. It's pissing down with rain, but everything. But I need to get out a little bit. Otherwise, I feel like I'm trapped in one area, and I don't like being trapped in four walls. So I need to get out. So I'll miss that game, but I may do the 7 p.m. game with you, which will be the Canadian game. And no, actually, I will do the 7 p.m. game with you. It's Belgium, Canada, isn't it? I do want to do a Canadian game, though, Moss, because I do want to see if I can get Mel, only if she's fully fit, only if she's feeling well enough. Right, Melina, if you're out there, right, and if you're up, only if you feel well enough, though, right, match day 2 or match day 3, I want to try and get you on to do a watch along. Only if you feel up to it. Right? If you don't, then just say so, and we won't. We don't have to worry about it then.
Yeah. Special shout out as well to Bobby K from 3 Spurs Boys.
Yeah,
I know
Bobby
he's a
K,
Tottenham fan. Yep.
Yeah, he always pops in the chat. Big up Harry from Hasbro TV. He came on last night. It was really, really good guest as well.
Yeah,
quite
he was
quite level-headed as a Tottenham fan. He was like one of those like, oh, you should be canning us for the title, this, that, and the other. Like, he wasn't one of those like he thinks he's like, he knows where his club's at, and like, if you know what I mean. You know that you get some people on Twitter, those Tottenham fans on Twitter, that like they go like, oh, why aren't you considering us for the title? Right? If Arsenal were considered, why can't we? Right? This, that, and the other. Like, so yeah, yeah, I should get him on. I'll get him on more shows. And actually, to be fair, I might consider him for something actually, to try and restart something. Because I used to do a show called North London Banter And the reason we did it is because me and a mate of mine called Newey, who's now he's a Bayern fan, but he's also a Tottenham fan as well. He follows Tottenham as well. Me and him like would go at it hammer and tongs, and like he'd come on the show and I'd go like, all right, dickhead. But it's as much as I would call him that, it's all love. It's all love. We're all bros and that. So we can actually insult each other, call ourselves wanker, tosser, like twat. But it would never
but
take
listen,
offense.
take it easy though, because you don't want this video to get demonetized. Yes,
Mate, I've said so much worse and it's never been demonetized.
good for you then. Good for you.
Look, but like anyway.
And listen,
like,
I'm gonna catch your
like
reaction to Ronaldo leaving on playback. Obviously, I'm actually going to be going on another video with True Red Devil to talk about that later on. But clearly, all I will say in brief is that it had to happen. And so far, it's been quite cagey. Morocco haven't really had that much of a shot on target to trouble Livakovic yet. So,
do you believe the Glazers are going to sell? Because I said in that video, I don't see it. I just think it's another one of those. Oh yeah, he called us out, so we might consider it. But I don't think they want to sell. I really don't. Why would they want to sell when they want to hold out with Kroenke to get to the Super League? They know it's going to happen at some point. They know if they hang out until they get to the Super League,
I really hope the Super League does not happen. I think I speak for you.
It's going to happen, bro.
And a lot of
it's going to happen, bro. Yeah. Luckily, I probably won't be there to see it, but it's going to happen, bro. So good luck.
Yeah, but listen, like if it happens, I'll definitely be boycotting that. There's no way I'd want to see that rubbish.
Yeah, of course, bruv. But there's too much money in football. When you're offering Mbappe £1 million a week, like, and also a chance to be on the board to make their certain decisions, then I'm sorry, like. I mean, that's the ultimate player power. He gets to have a say on who gets who from like for what team, for his team. Who the hell is he? It's not. It's a player.
You do realize that when you do that, you're basically asking for anarchy, and that will only be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
it reminds me, if you're a golf fan, it reminds me a lot of the LIV series, which is currently taking place. I can only speculate how long that will last before people will start to call this bluff.
I don't know anything about golf, mate. So yeah, you lost me. Yeah. So like I said, yeah, like I said, it's yeah, we have to be it's gonna happen at some point. There's just too much money in it, bro. There's too much money involved. And Kroenke, the reason Kroenke, Glaziers, Perez, like these people want it is because they know the Real Madrid, Barcelona. Look at Real Madrid and Barcelona's financial situation. Look at Juventus' situation. Look at even our situation, even though we're self-sufficient because we get loads of money from the Premier League. So much money, more money than the Italian and the Spanish leagues, right? It's because we're the most televised. It's because, like, the reason they want it is because they can't compete with the money from PSG, Man City, Newcastle now as well. Like, so that's why they set it up in the first place, to give themselves a £400 million just for entering. It's only because they needed to make as much money as possible so they can go out and compete with the PSGs, the Man Cities, the Newcastles. It's the only way they can compete, and they know that's why they made changes to it. And I will do a stream about it. I wanted to do another stream about it. Whoa. But I wanted to do another stream about it, and I will do another stream about it as soon as the World Cup's finished, a Hot Off the Press show where we debate about the return of the Super League. It's just that, like, the last Hot Off the Press show took so long to get done. It was just being delayed, but and I'll tell you the truth. The reason it is, yes, half of it was health, then half of it was just myself mentally was not in a good place. I was not coping. I just wanted to, most of the time, though I did usual streams for previews and match reactions and watch-alongs, and I still do that most of the time. And it's also been the F1 channel as well.
A nice cross shot there from PSG's Hakimi, deflected back to Livakovic, who grabs that.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, like I was saying, it was just it's just mentally, I'm really struggling at the minute. I am really struggling mentally right now.
I get that.
Yeah, I mean, just the actual reason I was probably late today is because I called my clinical nurse specialist, and let's just say the discussion didn't really end well, and I was in tears afterwards. So, my mum had to come and sort me out and calm me down, to be fair. And I can see it in her; she's trying not to cry as well. What can you say? You know, what can a mother say?
What can anyone say? I told you, all the grief in the world doesn't change the situation.
No.
Keep calm, carry on, and try and put a brave face on it.
Yep. Anyway, another good attempted cross by Croatia. Didn't come off though. Been quite even the start of this game, isn't it?
I wouldn't say even. In fact, I would say, looking at it from my point of view, Croatia had the better of the exchanges. Morocco have shown that they could come in. They're probably going to look to try to soak up Croatian pressure and sort of negate their attacks, while also looking to counter themselves. Ironically, they've started the perhaps the more sprightly of the two teams, but once Croatia gets settled in, they should be fine. It's a bit like the France-Australia game last night, for which I did the watch-along with on Hanno's channel. And, you know, I remember watching it and seeing Australia go ahead and immediately think... I remember watching it and thinking, you know, the France could be in for trouble here, but they've shown that even with the injuries, and latest news is that Lucas Hernandez has been ruled out. So... I don't think they're going to get a replacement now because the tournament's already started. But it was nice to see his brother Theo come in for him and pick up his slack. It was a way of saying, "You did that to my brother. I will not let you off the hook." Off the hook. And that sounds proved. He went on to have a terrific game as France scored 4 unanswered goals. So it's like teams like France and Croatia. Yeah.
Was you having a pop at me?
No, not at all. What I was saying was that in the France-Australia game, it was basically a case of, you know, Lucas Hernandez getting injured in the build-up to the Australian goal. I think he was twisted by Matthew Leckie and ended up injuring his cruciate ligament, so he's out of the tournament. And so Theo Hernandez, his brother, came in and said, "You injured my brother. I will not let you live it down." And a shot and anger there from Perisic, not too far away. And perhaps a bit too high, but always rising. So
I'm just gonna.
What I'm going to say to So what I'm going to say to you now is that when you take a look at teams like France and Croatia with the heritage they have and their history of, I'm
going to stop you right there. Do you know why? I love your explanation of things, but I don't give a fuck about France.
I wasn't talking about France. I wasn't talking about France. I wasn't talking about France. I'm now talking about Croatia.
Fine. You can talk about Croatia.
So what I'm saying now. So what I'm saying is that when it comes to Croatia, just like France, with their history of top performances as well, and the legacy they leave, they just need to get themselves settled in, and they will, you know, get cracking. So I do believe that Croatia will qualify from the next stage, but I will agree that it won't be easy. Croatia and
this is not easy.
Canada will give. Yeah, Croatia and Canada will provide challenge. Morocco and Canada will provide challenges, but Croatia and Belgium, for me, they should qualify.
Wide. Good ball by
Not really just Morocco, wide. It was that the attacker wasn't able to meet the head.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he just
meet the cross.
Just couldn't get his head on it. But it's a good attempt by the Morocco. Like I said, that's why I said with Croatia, and that's why I was going off recent form in tournaments, and because I haven't seen much of. I couldn't really judge on Canada because I haven't really seen them, apart from just seeing previous results. Belgium. Do you know what? I think Belgium could struggle really in this group.
Oh,
I
they
do
could.
think so. They could easily struggle against Canada because Canada have got so much youth as well in their team. Jonathan David, for example. Whether it's
Alphonso Davies.
Alphonso Davies as well. But like with who Hakimi's down. That's the last thing they need. But with Belgium, most of that team is old now. It's getting towards its last World Cup or even last Euro. It's even last tournament. So,
Exactly.
So yeah, they could find this very, very tricky to get out of the group. I still expect them to, but Belgium has just been so overrated. Like, I would say this group, in terms of order of difficulty, I think it goes Group E. That's just too close to call. Any team could really come out of that, to be fair. Group H, then Group F, and then that's what I would go. Then you could
Group
say,
H is. Yeah.
then you could say Group C, Group D, Group
Okay.
G, Group B, and Group A.
Well, Group G is Brazil's group, and there with Serbia and Switzerland. It'll be tough to see who out of Serbia and Switzerland will join Brazil in the last 16.
Oh, that would be tough to call, to be fair.
Yeah. I predict
I
Switzerland
mean, they all
should
have
go
their
through.
difficulties, to be fair. They all have their difficulties,
Yeah.
probably apart from Group A, really.
Yeah. It's nice to see Ziyech getting into the game now. I think he
But
might be
then-
one of those players who enjoys playing more for country than club. Go figure.
I say Group A, but then Group A have done Senegal. I still feel I've got something about them.
Without Mane, not quite. And unless they drop Edouard Mendy for either Seny Dieng or Alfred Gomez, they won't progress from that group. That was the game which needed Mendy to step up and be counted. And those two clangers he dropped cost his team big time. They could, at the very least, have escaped with a draw.
They should have deserved the draw out of that game.
Exactly.
They were more I'm sorry, I was appalled by Netherlands. I was expecting so much better than them. They were poor.
It was only when Memphis Depay came on that they showed some attacking intent. But again, that's Dutch football for you. They're pragmatic for the first hour or so.
That's Louis Van Gaal for you, mate. That's Louis Van Gaal for you.
Ah, right. Yeah, Louis Van Gaal. And of course, we've seen more than enough of that with Manchester United.
Dennis Bergkamp used to do that. Dennis Bergkamp didn't used to do that in '98, remember? Or '96.
Oh, 98. That goal against the RGs was so sweet because Argentina knocked us out at the second stage.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that from what talent they've got, that was appalling. I was still expecting them to top the group, but they'll need to pick up their performances if they're going to get far in this tournament. They ain't going to get very far playing like that.
Well, I mean, you can't write Louis Van Gaal off. He, of course, was the Dutch coach who took the Netherlands to third place in 2014, beating Brazil in the fourth place playoff 3-0.
He took them to a final.
That was Van Gaal? Yeah. I don't think that was Van Gaal, though, because... Find out who that was, because I know that Stekelenburg was the first choice goalkeeper then.
Netherlands, yeah, I think it was, mate. Lineups. Oh no, is Marwijk.
Nope, it was Bert van Marwijk.
Marwijk.
Van Marwijk.
Sorry, my bad.
Marwijk.
No, my bad. but then they were so poor after that. I think 2014 they were poor. No, 2014 they beat Spain 5-1 in the group stage, didn't they?
Of
Absolutely
course, I mean
destroyed
that was sweet revenge, really, for the 2010 final. They literally
Oh.
destroyed Spain that day.
It was Spain that were awful. I think Spain didn't get through the group stage, didn't they?
No, they didn't. The reign of Spain ended mainly in 2 games.
Yeah. And in Group B, the only game they won was against Australia, which shows how poor Australia was. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even lost against Chile.
And now you know why none of that team likes spicy food.
Very funny.
Just admit it, you don't like my jokes.
Yeah, like sometimes I laugh, but sometimes it's like, oh, seriously. Like, come on.
I mean, for example, that joke you said about many of the Croatian players getting a little bit itchy, that was a low blow.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a low blow. It was worth it to go, though.
Still being coached, of course, by Zlatko Dalic, who famously sent Nikola Kalinic home, and since then, Kalinic has never played for Croatia ever again. And I want to take a look at the Croatian team because there were quite a few notable omissions there, Ante Rebic being one of them.
Well, big up to Moss in the chat. He's marking 21. How's the quality? Cameroon is Swiss. The Swiss are definitely solid. I'm not sure about Cameroon now. Morocco looking good. Ecuador gonna beat King Senegal for a second. Oh, I wouldn't say that to him, bruv.
Goose hitting call was good, father. No, that's not true. Hitting took Holland to the semi-finals in France '98. Miles, I love you, sir, but you really need to calm down that rhetoric, yeah?
Yeah, 5-1 to the Dutch beating Spain was amazing. Yeah, but I think they didn't get much further after that, did they? If I'm not mistaken.
So no real controversial omissions here, but I wonder what happened to Rebic.
They beat Mexico and then they lost. They got to the semis. Then they lost to Argentina on penalties. Oh, that's one that I remember because I remember one final where he tried to take off a keeper. Yeah, he for the Costa Rica game, he deliberately took off. Yeah, he deliberately took off. Who was it? Who was that keeper?
He took off Jasper Cillessen and replaced him with Tim Krul.
Yeah, right at the end. And then he tried. I don't think he tried it. Did he try it again for the next game? And let me have a look. I don't think he did, but I'll have a look.
Yeah. The reason why Ante Rebic is not playing for Croatia anymore is because of his falling out with the coach Dalic. So, I mean, you can criticize Dalic for being a bit of a dictator at times, but
he didn't do it for the Argentina game, and then they lost on penalties.
Yep. Another team which adopted that strategy is, of course, Australia, because I remember in their playoff against, I believe it was Peru, it went to penalties, and instead of our former gunner Matt Ryan facing them, it was Andrew Redmayne from Sydney FC who was brought on for that. Graham Arnold took that gamble. Redmayne ended up, doing a Yerzy Dudek with his antics on the line. and it paid off handsomely, and that's why Australia in the World Cup.
Look at that. Memphis Depay was on the bench that night.
Yep, because of concerns over his fitness.
Mm-hmm. Shows how young he was. That was over, what, nearly 10 years ago now. 8 years on. Still in the World Cup. There you go. Make sure you're hitting that like button and subscribing as well. Really do appreciate anyone that's watching right now. Oh, is that a phone? Looks like it.
Not really.
So, yeah, still pretty. I still think it's been pretty even, to be fair. Both teams have had their chances, but no real quality in the final third so far. As you can see on my front page, you can see the people that are still members of the channel. If you want to become a member, hit that join button below, guys. It really is important you hit that join button below. Become a member like Moss as well, where you get exclusive perks. Yeah, exclusive perks on any of the plans you decide to go on. And yeah, it all goes to Children's Liberties Foundation. So you're donating to a cause that helps save kids that are weeks old. You help save their lives as well.
Hey, listen, Stephen, I want to ask you. I don't know if you got to sort of see the Wales USA game that day, but from what I saw of the US, they certainly look to be a team that's worthy of being feared because their midfield does look very young and energetic. The likes of Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, and certainly Anthony Serginho Dest and a few others. They could cause England a few problems if we don't switch on a bit.
Maybe. But I think at the moment, we're looking all right. I mean, for England, things could be better, to be fair. Like you were saying, Wales drew. They don't look very good in terms of form, to be fair. Their form looks poor.
Who's form?
Both teams. What, USA and Wales? The way they were playing in their...
Yeah.
The way they played in their game. Yeah, the way they played in the way that game played out, Wales, I'm sorry, they were very lackluster. They didn't show any sort of quality up front. USA were dominating the midfield. Ramsey was struggling. And Bale was very isolated, so he was very quiet. But the USA, the problem is they didn't take their chances, and they not just check their chances, they got stuck in two mindsets in the second half. They didn't know whether to sit back or they didn't know whether to push.
Exactly.
And go and get the second. And so they're lucky. So their game management's not been good at all. If they play like that, the way we're playing, we will beat them.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I mean, obviously, it was a mistake from Walker Zimmerman to concede that ridiculous penalty. That tackle was simply uncalled for.
Yeah,
The only problem is
that game.
No, but here's the thing: like the USA actually did miss a bit of a trick by not playing Gio Reyna and or maybe someone else. They could possibly, decide to add a bit more freshness into the attack. I thought Timothy Weah was outstanding. Maybe it was their inexperience which sort of let them down. But again, if Berhalter gets his tactics right, they could be a threat. One thing which was really evident was that Page got his tactics badly wrong. It was a back three of Mepham, Roden, and Davies. Effectively, Neco Williams and Connor Roberts weren't able to be released, so the centre three in midfield was stretched quite a bit. And it was only when Kiefer Moore was brought on that they started to look a bit better because they knew that with that target man, they had something to aim for.
But you can
I'd like to see Moore start against Iran, along with maybe Brennan Johnson alongside Gareth Bale, or maybe Harry Wilson will stay and John will.
Hang on, you can see though. That was a textbook for Gareth Southgate, who would have been watching that game, of how to stop both USA and Wales. Right.
Well,
I mean, if he was him, I'll be rubbing his hands. Right.
Not really. No, if I were him, I'd be looking to try to see how to stop the midfield three of Adams, Musa, and I don't know who the number 8 was. I completely forgot about that, man. But I'd be looking to see how to try to stop them from being able to run at them because Wales definitely look very static. They look very slow. No complaints about Wayne Hennessy. He had a decent game. In fact, if it wasn't for his reflex save, that would have been an own goal. Didn't know about it, which made it all the more brilliant. A lot of people were asking for Danny Ward to be picked ahead of him, given his form with Leicester, but I said no. Had to be Hennessy.
So, like I said, the link is pinned in the chat as of now. So, if anyone does want to come on, feel free to now. Let me get some comment. Yeah, Dutch. No, I've already read that one. Luca, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, just like I need probably to get out of the house a little bit, and yeah, just mentally I'm not too great, but there you go. What can you expect? I think you can forgive us for that. Right. To be fair, I sent the Sky Sports commentator David Croft the news about my health, and he sent a lovely message back. Especially after his support for the channel as well. Right. Yeah, the link's in the chat if anyone does want to come on. More than welcome to. Because I'd love to get everyone's opinion on what's going on in the game. But yeah, still very even right now. Not gonna lie.
You could say maybe a little bit cagey with a few moments of inspiration inside. I mean, that Perisic shot, had it been a bit lower, that would have troubled Yassine Bouno in the Moroccan goal. And that should be called a free kick. Sofiane, sorry, son, you don't get away with that.
Yeah, he is some complete obstruction. Why isn't there a booking then? Right.
I think it's probably
Right.
wants to give Sofiane a bit of a warning. One more like that and you're out, son.
Well, yeah, one more light and you're in the book, bruv. Manny, how's things?
Yeah. Is that Luca talking to me? Yeah, good. All good, son. Thanks a lot for asking, and I hope things are well with you. And it'll be good to have you come on again. And I hope things are, as I said, I hope things are okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, rather disappointing not to see William Saliba play last night for France, but I think Upamecano and Konate did their job, and obviously Fofana came on later. But we should see Saliba later in the tournament, and maybe even Guendouzi. You never know.
Yeah, I'd like to see him play, see how he's developed. Is he still on? We sold him though, didn't we?
Nope, we sent him on to Marseille on loan, and he's
still
thriving there. Yeah, so there will of course be an option to make the transfer permanent. We'll have to see.
That that's a permanent transfer. To be fair, that's more like I'm sending you on loan because I can't get rid of you yet, but you are going.
Yeah.
Either when the contract runs out or when Marseille decide to keep you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They ain't coming back. That was a loan deal that he wasn't going to come back from.
Yeah. One of the best Moroccan teams I ever saw was the Moroccan team of '98, which had Mustafa Hadji and Saladin Bashir, Youssef Chipo in that team. They crushed Scotland 3-0 in their last game and could have gone through, but then from hearing the result of the Brazil-Norway game, their dreams were crushed. Very sad for them.
It's a shame about Guendouzi, to be fair. I still think he could have done something in our midfield. I think he could still help us now in the midfield, to be fair.
He could, and
especially
there are some
after
people
2 years of Champions League experience.
Exactly, and there are some people who would even say that although in publicly a different manager would have berated him, that same manager would have said to him, "Son, very soon, I'm going to make you my captain."
Do you know what? Would you be tempted to call him back for in January for 6 months before sending him on to Marseille or someone after getting 2 years experience, pretty much 2 years experience at Marseille? Try and because we need a midfielder.
If he could, if he could be cover for Partey, then I probably wouldn't mind it in theory, but in practicality, I think he will certainly do with a lot more game time, and he might not get that at Arsenal. So why would we want to bring him back with
It's just a thought, because the reason I had that thought is because even no matter if we go buy someone that's I don't think he's on Partey's level, right? But no matter who we're gonna buy, it's got to be someone half decent, and I think he's half decent to sit to be behind Partey, and because if we go for someone that's maybe not as quite as good, and he has been performing well in the Champions League, if we don't get someone that's just as good or maybe a bit lower, when we do decide to play him, we may be found wanting in the midfield. But why? Because we got him on the. I was just saying is we got him on the books. We're still paying half of his contract at least. Why not just try and see if we can come to some arrangement for 6 months? And say, look, we need you to cover for Partey to try and help us win the league, and then after the 6 months, right, we'll let you go to whatever club you want. I can't feel about that.
It's a thought, but again, knowing Guendouzi as well as you and I might do, I'm pretty certain that he might not really relish the prospect of, coming back there again. And maybe Arteta, knowing him, will probably consider bringing Guendouzi back a little bit of a risk in terms of temperament, because if he's calmed himself down at Marseille and is having the time of his life there, why would he want to upset that apple cart and run the risk of that risk not providing any reward?
That's why I said it was only going to be like a 6 month thing. So it's like, we'll cover you for 6 months and then we'll let you go to wherever you want. Like, if you want to go back to Marseille, we'll get you back to Marseille.
Yeah, well, obviously Marseille are not in the Champions League.
It's just we've got a player on our book that could be competent enough to help us win the league.
Right.
So we are looking
And
for
of
a
course,
midfielder to try and win the league.
agreed.
It saves us a
But in
lot of money.
addition, agreed. In addition, you know, since Marseille were playing in the Champions League and we're in the Europa League, now, of course, if we were to get him back, I don't think he'd be cup tied for that tournament. If he were playing in the Europa League, I'm pretty certain he would have been cup tied, which is why I'm sure you will agree with me that CR7 has no place in our squad. If he couldn't adapt to Ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 with the high press, he will have no chance adapting to Arteta's 4-2-3-1 system himself. And he won't play in the Europa League, so no chance he'd replace Nketiah. What's the point? Wasted money, wasted time.
I'm sorry, but yeah, me and Bargab don't usually agree on a lot of things. And we were on Tony's channel, and we really didn't agree about the whole Ronaldo thing, because I don't know whether it's because he sometimes has it in American sports or something, but he felt, yeah, but it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Like if he's the GOAT, if he decides he if he's not being, you should be basically, it was like siding seats. Are you basically saying that he has more right than the manager? He's like, well, yeah, he's the GOAT. It was like picking player power. It was like picking player power over the manager.
Mate, you came on Tony's stream when I was there, and you saw me really having it. And, you know, basically I pretty much, Bunu came out there punching it. And it might be a bit of a risk because it's coming in. Good save from the keeper there, earning his cross. So, yeah, I mean, for all of his inconsistent form at Sevilla, he's proven why he's now Morocco's number one. Interestingly enough, he was on the bench when Morocco played 4 years ago. It was Munir Mohand who was the first choice then under Hervé Renard. Now the roles have been reversed, and it's Munir who's on the bench and Bono who's starting. He sometimes spells his name Bono, B-O-N-O, after the U2 lead singer.
Oh yeah, maybe they said something that Southgate should do with Ramsdale. There you go.
You mean Rambo?
Yeah, put Rambo in instead of Pickford. Dinosaur hands.
Nope. In terms of the goalkeepers we have, Nick Pope is the best shot stopper. Ramsdale has the best distribution, but huh?
Nope. Who's at the top of the league? Come on. We all know who's excelling. We all know who's doing the best.
Yeah, again.
But anyway, that's another story. You were saying about the Ronaldo thing.
Yeah, so like I said, we won't have any use for him, and I'm glad that he is no longer, at Manchester United. He will never come back to the Premiership.
Modric
shot over the bar from Modric.
Over the bar. But yeah,
always rising.
What you were saying,
he.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was always going to go. That was always over the bar, to be fair. But yeah, do you feel that had some? Do you sort of agree with sort of the view that I was putting in, that he has some sort of right to be starting games and that he deserves some luxuries as he's because of his reputation as one of the greatest of all time? And it's half time here
completely
as well.
It is half time.
And I'm like, because I was saying, I don't care who you are, I don't care what player you are, don't care if you're the greatest of all time, I don't care if you're Pele, Maradona, Messi, or Ronaldo. Like, you do not, go against the manager. You do as you're told as the manager. And he said, well,
Exactly.
no, you don't really. I don't know if you might want to watch it back, to be fair, because you can see me and Parker look like getting angry with each other, to be fair. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if
what
I
do
were
you,
there, if I were there, it would be if you replace yourself with me, I'd be saying the same thing. I was having a go at Tony for exactly, I mean, more or less the same reasons.
yeah.
You know, a lot of Keane fans were having this issue with Keane and Ireland, saying Roy Keane happens to be Ireland's most decorated player, and he happens to be the most successful Premiership captain. So even if he's a bit of an awkward bugger, you make exceptions and bring him in, and you get the best out of him. The problem is, you know, it's okay to be able to have a maverick in the team as long as you're able to stamp your mark on that person and on the situation and make it clear that
But he feels
indiscipline and
he decides.
insubordination.
But he
I'll
decides. He
come
feels, yeah.
exactly.
He
So
decides.
you know
Like he deserves it. He deserves to move
exactly.
on.
Exactly. So, you know, that's not the way to be it. I mean, you know,
It's not the way it's
Wales has
done in
seen no
football.
but here's the thing, Wales has seen no greater footballer than Gareth Bale, Ryan
Mm.
Giggs, and you know, obviously with his
Let's not say
accomplishments at
anything
Real
about Ryan
Madrid,
Giggs right now. It's just not.
yeah, obviously,
Honestly.
yep, I'm not.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
I
like, we'll just dodge that around that. Right?
Exactly,
Let's
exactly,
just say that
exactly. I'm not
later.
going to talk. I'm not going to say any more about Ryan Giggs. Let me speak. Yeah. So
Yeah. Sorry.
obviously with Bale's accomplishments with Real Madrid, and of course his exploits with the national team, he is far and away the greatest player to pull on a Wales shirt, and nobody will argue with that. But if he is the type of person who will never ask for special treatment and will never expect to be put on a pedestal just because of his reputation, why should other players expect that same treatment? Because Wales's motto is "Together Stronger," and you know, for all of the heroic performances that the likes of Bale and others have put in, they know that they have a responsibility to continue along that sort of team ethic. It's a bit like selecting a team for the British and Irish Lions. You can have all the talent you want, but if you're a pot stirrer and a disruptive attitude, sorry, you don't find a place in the team. It's as simple as that. And Roy Keane's issue, just like Ronaldo, was that he thought that just because he had all that talent and ability, he could have a right to run the show and dictate how things would be going. But Brian Clough put him in his place by saying, "No, you don't get to do that, son, because you're the captain of the team. Your responsibility is to lead the team on the field and put in your best stint as a performer on the field." And
I thought
you
that was
know,
Alex
you're not
Ferguson.
telling people anything about the conditions of the training facilities that people don't know about with Ireland over the years. Okay,
Okay.
things in Saipan should have been better, but that was just an acclimatization trip. And when they went to the you know, their training base in Izumo, Japan, the facilities were world class. The pitch was like carpet, and the work they did in Saipan helped them because they adapted to the humidity quite perfectly, and they were able to find running a lot easier. So, you know, basically Keane was just acting like a little bit of a spoilt brat and used his excuse. He used his
But I'm talking about.
complaints of professionalism as an excuse
I
to
just
hide the
want
fact that he
to.
didn't like
Sorry.
McCarthy, didn't want to be in the squad.
I just wanted to get. If you're gonna, I wanted to compare it to what he was doing at Man United compared to the Ronaldo
yeah.
situation.
Oh, exactly,
like,
exactly.
Because like
Yeah.
he would, of course, he would back Ronaldo because he did it to Fergie himself. Now, if this was Fergie, and I said to numerous people that tried to defend him, you really think he'd done that if that was Fergie? No, because he would have been thrown out the door. Like, he would have been thrown out the door. Like, right? Simple rule, right? And I tried to explain the whole Bobby thing about how a director tried to slag off about one of him dropping a particular player, and him saying, "Don't you dare slag off one of my decisions." And that was the director of the club. And that was one of the board members. Right? But Fergie, for example, right? I'm sorry, but like, he would have never done, and we've never done it with Fergie because he would have been thrown out the door. And as Fergie said, if anyone thinks they become bigger than Manchester United, you're gone. You're gone. So yeah, so it was a joke. Like, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck what people say. I don't give a fuck what people think about Ronaldo. He might be the greatest of all time. He might be, first of all, he ain't the GOAT. He is one of the GOATs. For me, the GOAT, even with Messi, is still going to be Pele for me. Right? Pele, for me, is the ultimate GOAT and the ultimate human being. Right? You never see him do it. I don't know if Matt Bay Diego Maradona, because he is an arrogant twat, but you wouldn't see him do it. Especially back in those days, like, and unfortunately for me, in the end, I'm sorry, like, I don't care if you're any one of those players and you're the GOAT, right? And this is why Messi, you would have never seen Messi do this as well. Right? Messi is more humble with it, and I've said this from time. Right? Ronaldo's just proved what I knew all along. He is an arrogant, self-centered twat. Right? That all he cares about is himself. Like, it's all about him. Right? How everyone plays, it's all around him. How everyone trains, it's all around him. Right? How the facilities, it's all around him. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't care what he says about, like, even if he said something about the Glazers, we already bloody know. We already knew about the Glazers. We didn't need to tell him, Mr. Ronaldo. Right? Everyone knew this from day one. They know why Man United in a mess. Right? So, but yeah, if you want to try and make yourself like a martyr, but I'm sorry, unfortunately, when you slag off a manager, you slag off the players, and you slag off the board, the people who own you, who own your contract, right? Then I'm sorry, you have no place, right, in any team, not just Manchester United, any football club, right? You have no place. End of story, right? You cannot go around thinking that you can run the roost of every single football club because you're Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Until you become a football manager, right? Which you could do if you want to, right? Or you could become a great pundit. You could become a great voice on the game, right? Afterwards. But no, because you can't accept you're finished, you're too old, right? And that you can't be the same player you were 10 years ago, you decide to spit your dummy out, right? And throw your toys out the pram, right? Thinking your life's coming to a fucking end. And it's like I said before, there are people on this earth, right? There are people on this earth that have to accept that not just they don't have to play this particular sport. They're not going to, like, after 2 years, they're not going to probably be here in 2 years, right? They're not going to be probably breathing in 2 years, right? And you're moaning over a game of football, right? When you could quite easily retire and be like Roy Keane or Souness and your buddies over there because they all support you and not the fucking football club. Manchester United, Roy Keane thinks he knows Manchester United. He clearly knows fuck all, right? He clearly is not a Man United fan, clearly, because otherwise he'd back them, the club. He wouldn't back the fucking owner, the player. No player is bigger than any club. If that is the case, then football dies. Football gets trashed in the big fucking bin, right? End of story, right? Simple. Ronaldo, you're a spoilt little brat. Get over it. Accept you're finished, right? Accept you cannot play at the top level, or accept you might have to go somewhere else, or just accept you might have to retire after this World Cup. So I'll tell you what, unless Todd Bowley's taken drugs, right, I don't see why any club should buy you. Because all you're going to do is throw your toys out the pram if some manager doesn't decide to put you on a pitch, right? That's why Ibrahimovic, Messi, right? I think Mbappe even as well, like Modric. These players are better than you. Not better players, men, because they care about playing for the one thing that only works as a team, right? As a team, right? Simple as that. And if you watch they do, they care about the team. And that is how their teams end up winning the trophies, because they don't make it about them. You need to either learn that, right, or never go near another football club and just retire. Sorry, right? And it's like I said, that interview, yeah, you might go on about the owners, we already bloody know, but that interview really fucked me off. Really fucked me off. You're bitching over a fucking game of football. Jesus Christ.
I get that. And listen, let me just come in right now, if I may. Obviously,
Piers Morgan, get him to reveal the chief. Get him to reveal the chief executive that told him he had to go and train instead of looking after his fucking kids, his kid in hospital, right, or his family, right? You asked Michael to reveal who the racist was in the royal family, but you don't do it for him. Wanker.
Exactly. Now let me come in, please. Thank you very much indeed. I saw the first half of the interview, and obviously, there were some issues that he had. I will say that, to his credit, he did have some redeeming qualities about how he keeps the ashes of his son and his father beside him, close to him, and learns how to be a better person. Of course, and the tributes that he received, not just from United, but also from elsewhere in the Premier League, is perfect proof of the esteem in which he was held. There's always going to be a little bit of... I will come to one issue in a minute, but one thing which I do agree with him is this. Harry Maguire, yeah, look, it is the height of discourteousness, in my opinion, when you go to a restaurant with your mates to share a nice meal, and you end up, bringing your own food, toast soldiers, an egg to be soft boiled, and some baked beans with some custard for dessert. How disrespectful is that? I mean, I get the point that maybe, as an uber professional, you care so much about good nutrition. Look, even Ronaldo does. But when you make a decision to go to a restaurant with your mates to enjoy a good meal, and you bring your own food because apparently you're too good to eat the food at the restaurant, I think that was, I wouldn't call that unprofessional, but definitely, discourteous in many ways. And for that, I do credit Ronaldo. But there is one thing, the issue there as well. The issue of his child being sick. And a lot of people have expressed doubts about that. You mentioned that the chief executive who forced him to train had to be named. But apparently there were some receipts about that thing, which, really cast Ronaldo's story in doubt. Apparently, during that particular time, his wife was seen at a concert, living it up and enjoying herself. Why, if your child is sick, would the mother of that child be at a concert? I don't know. So it seems to me as though Ronaldo is not really being forthright about this. Otherwise, he would definitely have named names. But in addition, Morgan pretty much failed to do his due diligence as a journalist. And, it's people like him who put the hack in hack journalist, pun intended. You get with the pun, right? Hacking a mobile phone and such.
Sorry, I don't see... By the way, I just need to quickly address that. The video that I did about the Ronaldo thing, by the way, it might be very quiet because obviously it was very late at night and I couldn't really talk too loudly in case my mum was woken up. So you might have to very quietly, very carefully try and listen for it. So I do apologise for that. If it's too quiet, I might do it again earlier in the day. Second, I will try and do more of them as well. So I'm gonna do something about the hypocrisy of critics about this World Cup, because the hypocrisy is driving me fucking mental. And I'm sick to death of having to sit there and listen to people bitching and moaning after they've paid for tickets to go fucking over there and watch football. Right? You've gone there to watch football, not make a frigging statement, right, about I want to do human rights or gay rights. Well, you don't consider any other clubs any other countries human rights right now, do you? When you own a iPhone, when you own a Samsung, when you own Nike trainers, and the gay rights thing, I get the gay rights thing. I would support it, right? In my country all the time. In our country, right, as a free society, they should be allowed to feel who they want. But unfortunately, theirs is not a free society. In their laws, in their lands, it's their rules. And I'm sorry, you cannot go around there expecting them to change their laws for 4 weeks so you can watch football and like do what you do with another bloke, right? Which is not I haven't got a problem with, but unfortunately in their country it is a problem. Like it's against the law. Like now, I'm sorry, you would if they came over here, you'd expect them to live under our laws and our lands for however long they stayed, right? Whether they stayed permanently or whether they visited. You didn't change our laws to suit their beliefs, their religions, their this, their that, would you? So why is it you expect them to do it for you? I'm sorry. And if you've got such an issue with it, why did you buy tickets and go to the football in the first place? If you're that against it, don't go. And don't go to any other country that has the same rules, right? Don't go to any other country that has the same human rights issues. Simple. Simple as that. Right? Stand up and be an actual protester, right? Don't own iPhones, don't own this, don't own that. Make sure everything's British made that you own, right? Which, unfortunately, in these days is nothing because even your local supermarket, some of that is either owned by the Middle East.
And we're back. Yeah.
So
in fact, it's already been about 120 minutes.
Sorry, but everything in capitalism in this country, unfortunately, is owned by the Middle Eastern or these countries that have human rights issues. So I'm sorry, unless you're gonna not communicate by pigeon, and do this and that and all the other, and not have any of these products, right, and use these services like Amazon Prime and this and that, then I'm sorry, stop being a hypocrite and calling out their human rights issues, right? Because I'm sorry, you're sitting there moaning about human rights, but yet you're getting your iPhone, your new iPhone, you're getting your new Samsung. I'm getting my new Samsung phone today, right? But I'm not sitting here saying their human rights are wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, right? Because in the end, I get my iPhone, right? So in the end, I benefit from human rights issues. So if I call it out, I'm a hypocrite. So I don't. So if you don't like it, if you don't like them holding the World Cup, if you don't like them, the fact they don't have, if they don't support gay rights and being free in their society, right, to feel how you feel, don't watch it and don't fucking go. End of. And I will be explaining that in my own video to try and explain it in the more sensible way. But obviously, I will try and do one of these videos every once so we can keep up to date with the Premier League news. If you know what I mean. And then if you do like them and you do like these pre-recorded videos, I may keep them on. But it's mainly it's mainly during the group stages at the minute. It's trying to keep up to date with the Premier League and the normal football news whilst the World Cup is on. If you get what I mean. But yeah, 48 minutes into the second half. Or 8 minutes into the second half. 3 minutes into the second half. Sorry, just kicked off. Hopefully, see what Morocco can or Croatia can come up here to try and break this deadlock. It's been very cagey, to be fair. bit of opportunities, bit of lack of quality in the final third, but very, very cagey. That's what I've made of it so far, mate. It's been a bit of a war fest, to be fair.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, really. They're big too even. It's like they're too even, which is a shame because you'd think Croatia would have, with the talent they've got, would just edge it. And this is what I said. I think Croatia are still trying to recover from that Euros experience from last year. It was only a year ago.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree. Look, I think for some reason you seem to take to enjoy being a little bit too harsh on them. But as I've said,
no, I'm just being.
Stephen, you've had your time. Let me talk.
I'm just being. I'm
going to say right now. Look, I've told you once. I'm going to tell you again. Poor tournaments happen to everyone. Okay, and. Obviously, with the issues with the coach, cost Ante Rebic his spot in the Croatian team, and now they're sort of trying to recover. But look, form is temporary, class is permanent, and there are some new players who've come in. I believe the vice captain Vida is not even in the starting lineup; he's on the bench today. So they're gonna try to sort of move on, but they know their place in world football, and they're gonna make sure that they do whatever they can. But Livakovic had that covered. And Morocco started the half well, but they've often, lost quite a bit of energy, really. Morocco. They just don't seem to have the experience and guile to be able to maintain their charge, if you will. So, look, this is the sort of game in which Croatia can, if they find an advantage and take it, they will win. And I think a pragmatic 1-0 win will suit them just fine. They know that... 4 years on, a few of the players have gotten older, but I think, look, now we see the number 22 making a run down the right. All he has to do is get a ball in.
Can I just say that quickly? I hear your point. It's not me being critical and overly critical. It's just me being honest from what I've seen. It just feels like they're trying to feel their way into a tournament. And it feels like sometimes they're not overly committing. It's like, because if you lose the first game, it could be a spiral effect, like into the next 2 games. So for me, it's like they're trying not to take. Oh, it's cleared off the line. They're trying to not take too many risks and leave themselves caught out like they did in the Euros, because I think in the Euros they were caught out big time. So they're trying not to have that happen again. But I'm not saying that they haven't got the quality to be able to go through. I do think they can go through, right? But I'm only just basing it from what I've seen. I've not seen them since the Euros, to be fair.
Yeah, and that shot was actually
football. So
and that shot, it was firstly saved by the keeper, and then of course it was Amrabat who cleared that off the line. So you can see now that Croatia coming into it. And I will say this: different teams have different strategies when it comes to tournaments, and obviously if Croatia want.
All I'm trying to say, Manny, is that I'm just seeing. I can't base a certain team in between 2 tournaments if I haven't seen them. I can only go on when I last saw them, and I last saw them last year, and it really shocked me of how caught out and poor they were. So that's why I'm maybe been a bit critical on Croatia, because of what I've seen just before, from going for a World Cup final to a Euros, that they couldn't even get out of the group and didn't even get into the 3rd place point advantage. So that's the only reason. So
I'm aware of what you're saying.
They've definitely not been. They've not been great in this game, but it's not like they've it's not. They've avoided sort of the poor start that they had in the last tournament, right? That's what I will definitely say. So, and I think Morocco as well. They've not had the greatest. This has not been the greatest of games for them either. To be fair, like I said, it's been very cagey by the two of them. But yeah, make sure you're pumping likes up, please. Make sure you're subscribing to SFeatleyTV, right? And also make sure you're joining that membership to help donate to Children's Liver Disease Foundation. Every penny helps. I'm telling you now, it does. Like, we've used it correct. Or how's they are the skate and works versus England, obviously, but England versus them and versus Italy. Needed go at them wings and go at the I get that. I think you're saying that Southgate maybe wouldn't take advantage of where they could hurt them, but the mindset is always nil and win and 1-0. That's the tactic. Nullified opponent, doesn't matter who. 100%. Then count. Try and, if you can, Moss, try and be a bit like. It's sometimes not difficult to understand what the point you're trying to make. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, and I can't think it through as much. Sorry, no grammar. Yeah, I don't know. So they're always trying to make sure they keep it like keep a clean sheet, and then they're a bit like George Graham, if you get what I mean. Yeah, if like George Graham, they're trying to make sure they keep their shape. They keep make sure they don't concede, and then try and hit on the try and use the counter attack and also their their forward midfielders and forwards to try and create the one or two chances they need to score. I think that's what you're trying to say. Okay. Sorry, because sometimes it's difficult for me to understand at the minute because mine's as great as it, and unfortunately it's not going to be easier, but I think that's what you're getting at. So make sure you keep pumping those likes up. It really is important if you can. It really does help the channel. Really does help the channel. Cause that my internet is poor.
Right.
It is, but it is
so basically what Croatia are looking to do now is obviously get themselves settled. And, I think the coach have studied Morocco and know that although they start very well, they tend to run out of steam fairly quickly in the half. They started well again now, but again, they seem to be a little bit slightly off the pace. Mazraoui taking that knock has not really helped them. He's not as fast as he was, and I wouldn't be surprised now if the Moroccan coach decides to make a substitution, bring off Mazraoui, and he's now lying down as we speak. Clearly, he looks winded. So
so
this seems to be a little bit of a game of chess, and obviously sometimes you've got to, adjust your strategy for the opponent. You've also got to make sure that you play the situation, and Morocco have done that well. In contrast, Croatia have done that well. In contrast to Argentina, I think they went completely gung-ho at the beginning. They should have been up 4-0, but had 3 goals disallowed. In the second half, I don't know what their strategy was. They just completely, seemed to disintegrate more than anything else. At least they know now.
I think the Argentinian game, it was the shock of the first goal that disintegrated them. It really disintegrated the midfield and the defense for those next 10 minutes, because it just relieved the onslaught of Saudi Arabia pressure. And then all of a sudden, they're 2-1 down, and then obviously Saudi Arabia decide they're going to drop their line halfway deeper. Not completely deep, so they don't get sucked into being like permanently pumped in their own box, but drop it only halfway, so then they can contain Argentina and run them out of ideas. And that's exactly what they did. They managed to keep Messi quiet, and again, keeping Messi quiet keeps Argentina quiet, because then they run out of ideas again. And
exactly.
So it's a shame. It's exactly what happened in 2014, and the media are just to blame to this, because the final of 2014, they said it was Germany versus Messi. Right? Not forgetting they had Otamendi, they had Zabaleta, they had Higuain, they had great players, Angel Di Maria. They had great players in that side, but they just ripped them all off and said, "Oh, it's about Germany versus Messi." Well, that's not fair on him, is it? Come on.
Agreed, completely. But let's also bear in mind that the Copa America was also portrayed as Messi versus the rest of South America in a way, and they were able to sort of, combine together. And there were other players who made outstanding contributions. In fact, the chemistry in that team under Scaloni at that time was so good that Kun Aguero could barely even get a game. And, I think Scaloni will have to make a few tactical adjustments. I think some Manchester United fans were, crowing over were angry over the fact that Lisandro Martinez wasn't picked. Maybe again that was, a decision that the coach felt he had to make. And does he play Martinez against Mexico? Maybe he will. I think that might be the better option.
But the way Man United have been defending, you can't blame him. To be fair, But look, we'll see what they do in the next game anyway. I think they will recover and still top the group anyway. But
exactly, because now they know that with Mexico and Poland drawing 0-0, thanks to Guillermo Ochoa's brilliance on the line against Lewandowski.
Oh yeah, of course.
Argentina know that if they beat Mexico and Poland, they will still top the group. Because
sorry, I just need to. I need to. I've been. Sorry, I just need to get through these few comments first.
I definitely don't see Saudi Arabia beating either Mexico or Poland. They overachieved. They got the result they wanted. They'll be heroes for life, millionaires until they die.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. That's all they really need.
We'll see what happens. You never know. So anything can happen in football. You never know. All it will do is it will, like I said yesterday, when it happened, it will send a message to Mexico and Poland that said, "Don't fuck around with Saudi Arabia, because you can be punished if you're not careful." So that's all I'm going to say on that. All good. Look, my comment. University Koak came here from Sarajevo. He was top
university coach,
and devastated that walk. Yeah, we're not going to that, shall we? There's a lot of. There's more politics. I don't want to go in politics, bruv. I'm fed up with politics now with this fucking World Cup. I'm not to hear with it. Didn't hear the human rights in South Africa and all the lack of tap water and shit like that, did you? No, you didn't hear all that bullshit. You didn't hear all the the gang, the Brazil, living the slums and how how people are living in there. In the massive cities of Brazil. You didn't hear anything about that, did you? No. But you didn't hear anything about 2018, about the Russian hooligans and this, that, and the other. But for this World Cup, every single fucking criticism has been dragged up. And I will put this all in my own thoughts in a pre-recorded video. There's so many freaking, even 2002, the human rights of these companies of South Korea and Japan making these products for basically only £1. No one's saying anything about that. Manny's dropped out. Don't know what happened there. Like, no one's saying anything about that. But we're all saying it now because because we want to have a go at Qatar. Oh, Morocco very close there. Again, Hakimi nearly with the goal. Free kick, take shot, and it was straight at the keeper. To be fair, right, and they need him. Well, one down maybe for Canada. Melina, she pumped up to day 2. Not awake yet though. Of course she's not. Like, she needs her rest, Moss. Let's let her rest. Boys, you think Raul Jimenez back from Mexico versus Argentina? We'll wait and see on that one. Obviously, not been the same since that match he got in. I think it was the Wolverhampton Arsenal game, didn't it? Back in 2020-21, with Arteta's dreadful first season. Let's put it that way. But yeah, like, he hasn't really been the same player when he came back. To be fair, it was such a bad injury. It could easily fuck you up. The Saudis will just play for draws, and anything else is gravy. That's a good point. I don't think they would, to be fair. If they saw the opportunity to win a game, though, Moss, I think they'd take it. You can't not take it. Because if you top the group, you might even get a better draw. Right? 1992, Yugoslavia kicked out, and then Denmark won the cup and taking their place. That was crazy. That I think it was Euros, wasn't it? Is it it was the Euros final, wasn't it? 19 to like was one champions Denmark. Unbelievable. That was such an unbelievable side, to be fair. Hakimi with a blast. David Clown Louise head hit. Wow, was crazy. Yeah, that was such a bad injury, to be fair. I really was worried about him. I think I was doing a watch along for that game. It was a long time ago. Manny should be back now. And he is.
Had an issue with my internet. I mean, suddenly, just and then had to.
Don't worry, we all have that. Don't worry, Bob.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it didn't affect the. I mean, obviously, I was. Never mind. So we saw the free kick which Livakovic saved, and Morocco made a substitution in the meantime. I believe Soufiane Boufal was taken off.
Yeah, I didn't really want to present the name because I might have fucked it up.
No, from now on, when it comes to names, you're going to leave that to me, because as someone who's had to deal with people butchering my name, I'm very sensitive when it comes to the pronunciation of names, and I know how to get it.
Well, I'm going to need you on every watch along then for the group stages, because I was on fucked.
I'll tell you what, wherever I'm on, I'll handle that. Yeah, but
yeah, good. I'll let you know.
Yeah, so midway point of the second half, still goalless, and it's definitely coming to that point where one goal will win this. And we saw that between Senegal and the Netherlands, certainly quite cagey, no shortage of chances from either side. And eventually it was one mistake which cost Senegal. And
that you're telling me that final of 1992 was won by Jon Jensen?
Yes,
by Arsenal's Jon Jensen, the guy who the guy who signed for Arsenal, and it was like one of those, like, you remember when Firmino scored against in White Hart Lane? It was like a Jon Jensen moment. Don't fucking hit that ball, and he scores. I think it's like the only goal he scored for Arsenal. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have a look. I was interested.
It was Jon Jensen
in 18 minutes. They beat Germany 2-0.
Yep, John Jensen and Kim Vilfort were the scorers. That team had Peter Schmeichel in goal, Brian Laudrup and not Michael, and Jan Molby wasn't a part of that squad.
Yeah, I
And
wasn't born until then, so I
yeah,
wouldn't
and
know.
Denmark weren't even supposed to be in the tournament. That actually was supposed to be Yugoslavia, but because their political situation was so dire, they were, kicked out of the tournament, and Denmark took their place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly like with Russia and
Do you know what's
Qatar this
thing?
time
Do you know what
around.
the thing is as well? No, but do you know what I think as well is that Denmark have always been that team, and you saw it in the Euros where they may not have absolute stars, but they have a team, if you know what I mean. They have a team that plays well. Saeed, how you doing, my bro?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, sorry if I sent you that message at the last minute, mate. I was just got off the phone to a clinical specialist, and my mum had to calm me down. To be fair, so I was wondering if I was not going to make it or not. But yeah, anyway, we're here anyway, bro. What did you make the game so far?
I haven't even been able to watch it. I've had a bad headache, so
God,
I'm gonna turn it on soon. I just woke up. I just wanted to check on.
Okay, it's a bit cagey, to be fair. People, they've all. I think both teams have had their chances. It's cleared over the bar by the North End, a good clearance, but they've all had their chances to score. I think both teams, I think, had it off the line at one point. But in the end, like it's not. They've not been able to materialise and get the goal they needed. Sometimes the final ball's not been quite right. Sometimes it's just been a bad, like the drop of the ball's not fallen for them. So, and you just see it's been a bit cagey. And I think the stadium and roof's closed now, isn't it? Oh no, it's still open. Sorry.
Okay.
It looked like it was closed there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there. So it's been nice. It's been good, to be fair. Not bad. But
and this is a phase of play right now where Croatia is starting to dominate, and obviously, there's a Moroccan player who's called Aguero. I wonder if he's named after his idol.
Moss, if you can get on the 4 p.m. watch along for I think it's Spain versus Costa Rica, then we can try and set up. So you, if you get on it before it starts, so I've sent you the link. So what you do is you come on like 10 minutes beforehand. Then we'll try and sort out getting your YouTube linked to my StreamYard. So then we can run it on your channel as well. You know? No penalty there. But
nope, that was a fair tackle.
I'm doing here on King's Show 2. King's Show 2, right? It should be. But Moss, like I said, if you come on, if you come on 10 minutes before the Spain Costa Rica game, or when I go live, which is 3:20, we can sort out this. We can sort out this stadium, this StreamYard thing once and for all. Right, and then we can get yours linked to mine, so we can run these shows on your channel as well. Right, and that may be easier, and then also it can spread awareness for each of our channels. Yeah, should get Saeed to do as well. Yeah, send the link for that. So I think I sent it. If not, yeah, I've sent it to you. I've sent it to you already. So it says 3:30 p.m. To join. Join at 3:20. I'll be there at 3:20. But obviously Germany, Japan, I'm not going to be able to come on. I've got I have to go out. I need to go out for my own mental state. So I'm gonna go out with my mum. It's only a bit of shopping, but so it won't be too long. But I need to get some time out. Yeah, and then I'll be back for the Spain game. And then Moss, you should send us the link to your other watch along for Belgium Canada. If you want, actually, I could also link my stream to yours if you wanted to, like you did with Kings, right? And then you could share it onto my channel as well if you wanted to, Then we're covering all of them. Well, yeah, play.
Yeah, sure.
If you join at about 3:20 as well, we'll try and get yours linked onto mine as well. Because then we can all run it on YouTube on each other's channels. So we're covering everything. How does that sound? See?
One second.
I just think that sounds much easier. Then no one's missing out. We need to try it once actually. See if it works. For Morocco. Yeah, make sure you're pumping those likes up, guys. Make sure you're subscribing as well. I know it's very early in the morning, but thanks for anyone that is tuning in. These times are really good for when people are coming from watching from South Asia or something. They're a hell of a... There you go. Let me see if that tea's still warm. Whoa, what's going on there?
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. So yeah, I was wondering whether to put you and Moss's YouTube into my stream yard and then put my stream onto yours and Moss onto mine onto Moss's as well, and then we can all run the games on each other's channels.
Yeah, the only thing with me, I can only have two channels.
Right.
I
So
can
you might
only
as well.
set up one.
So you might as well do it on mine.
I can only set up one admin. But if we're gonna do it on all three channels, You have to behave. You can't be swearing. That's the thing. If you behave and not gonna swear, then that's fine. But if you feel like you have to swear, then I have to do it separately. So I can't keep on telling you to not swear, to not swear. And you know the reason why. It's nothing personal.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the reason why I usually do one stream on my channel and then I jump on to one or two on your.
Yeah.
Because obviously I know sometimes it's not intentionally that you do it, but it's a bit of a problem for me.
I know it's
Let's see, which channel is the game on?
What's worse is I feel it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
I've got no way of stopping it.
Yeah.
Which is why I start questioning whether I can do it anymore.
Do it. It makes you happy. It gives you time to not focus on it. It's what you need. It's just that circumstances is a bit different because my children, they tune into my screen.
Yeah, I know. That's what.
But hey, it's
Try.
a bit, Yeah. Oh yeah,
But I know. I just know in the end, it's just gonna be something I just can't stop, and I'm gonna just have to stop.
Yeah.
So I noticed is that it's like when other people then don't come on.
Yeah. I know. But it's not easy. I understand.
Yeah, and they feel like it's come on, but it's like I can't think of it. You can't just stop. You just switch. It just snaps.
Yeah.
Because
before
I was getting really good at it. And
yeah.
Now, I mean, like last night, I was doing my thumbnails and overlays, and I'm sitting there thinking, what stadium is that? What game is it? What badge is that?
Yeah.
So I can't even think what I've downloaded literally 2 seconds before. I can't even think of what it is. And that's terrifying.
Yeah. And that's why I don't get angry with you.
What's worse is people that try and be your friends they don't understand.
Yeah, but they should understand. Like, no matter what, I've never taken it personal, even when it's happened on my
That's
channel.
the thing. I don't mean to be personal.
Because I know it's not personal.
I do it to my mum and I do it to my own sister as well.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes I'm horrible shit. I'll tell you the truth. That's the truth. You might have seen it sometimes when I've snapped at them.
Yeah, but it's not your fault. It's easy to judge from outside, but we're not in your shoes. So when you are in the situation you are in, it's understandable.
I mean, I have my mate who's got a daughter, and I treat it like my goddaughter, and it's like I can't. Even I try and not do it in there. I can't.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's never changed anything for me. You've always been my bro.
Thank you.
You know that. You know that I'm honest. Like, if you weren't, I wouldn't tell you. But you really are.
Yeah. It's scary, man.
Hey, it's probably the scariest news. It's one of them. Like, it's one of the scariest news you can hear as a human being. Probably.
Anyway, with free. That's got to be a free. Nice, get up. Wow, that's just not. I was wondering that was gonna be a free kick. Probably should have been, to be fair.
Yeah.
20 minutes lineups: Gnabry, Sane, Musiala, Muller, Havertz, Adeyemi. Not such choices, eh? I know. Tomiyasu to start. Who?
Sane, I've heard is injured.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's gonna miss the first game. He might be able to play the second game, but he's not playing today.
Wow. Where's? Oh, there's my post.
They might actually.
Do this tomorrow or Friday?
Seems to be petering out almost to a bit of a draw, but again, one goal can still win this. Remember, Cody Gakpo scored his. I'm sorry, Seth, but I have to mention this. It took until the 84th minute for the Netherlands to score, and then Davy Klaassen wrapped it all up. So anything can still happen.
Yeah, but luckily none of these teams have Mendy in goal, so they should be all right.
I have to say this: Mendy needs to be dropped, either for Dieng or Gomez.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry.
100%.
He's lost his
confidence. It's the truth. Like, something has happened to Mendy. I don't know, mentally, physically, but something has happened to him. He's not playing at the level that he was playing previously. And it's been the case now for over a year. Been that at Chelsea, been for the national team. Like, he's not performing. And you can't live on name on football. Sentiment has to not be part of it. That's why it's called professional football and not sentimental football.
Exactly. Let's see. Ross. Any message?
That's one for the blooper reels. Tried to wrap his right foot around it, but completely, sort of just brushed it and missed it, and then turned around. Kids, this is not how you do it.
Do you know what? To get the same plan on my S20 to the S22, I had to go for a 3-year contract. Doesn't really matter, to be fair. I thought, screw it. It's like I said, is there anything that they can that could change about your circumstances? And like, well, my health might deteriorate, but I don't know how long. I don't know when, so I can't give you a date. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
But luckily, all went through anyway. And in the end, I just do it. They just do it on my thing. My dad, they just terminate the contract. No payments, anything. They need a new phone because this permanently asking for battery all the time now. Never seem to do a battery that just lasts and lasts.
Yeah.
And for the price of it, I was tempted to just see if I can get screen fix for this so I can then set it on. But about 100 or something. Problem is Samsung. It's like all phones these days, just trying to keep it clean. I clean it and then literally about a day later it's covered in crap. Yeah, so this looks to be a dead rubber game, to be fair, in the end. I was hoping for a little bit more quality, but it just doesn't seem to come. I say that, but someone will score now. You watch.
Probably be a goal feast in every game you don't stream.
It'd be just my luck.
Yeah.
Right. Right. How many minutes of stoppage that is? 6. This is not as bad as others. The stoppages have been way too long. Like, it's like they're determined to play every single minute that's stoppaged.
Yeah, but that's the new rule. So they stop it every time it's a throwing or any kind of time wasting. They stop the clock.
I know, but for me, it's just like it gets silly. Like the England game, 14 minutes.
Yeah, but if you check it, you know, Maguire was down. If you look at it, it's fair. I just think we're not used. That's the thing, like, because it's so new, it's so odd. We're used to a certain amount of added time, and when we don't see that, it seems weird. I think that's it. But if you
been a bit weird,
think about it.
But there you go. Final 4 minutes of this stoppage. As you can see, Morocco trying to come with the late pressure. Can they get a winner right at the end? I don't think it'd be well deserved if they do. To be fair, I don't think it'd be like any. I don't think any team deserves a point. I think that both teams deserve a 0-0 draw and a point. In the end,
Yeah.
Yes, they had their chances, but in the end, they did make the most of them. We'll wait and see. But are those Croatian fans thinking that we've got a repeat of what's happened to last year? But wait and see. I don't think they will. I do think they'll be able to get out of the group. But then, so Morocco, if the next 2 games we're not careful, Belgium, Canada's going to be interesting. I do think Canada can get out of the group if they get a good result against Belgium. I do think Canada could beat these 2. They can do, especially with their young talent.
They've certainly made some good strides under their English coach, John Herdman. And certainly the way they played their qualifiers was outstanding. Where's that noise coming from?
I outside, I believe. So I just put them on mute for now. I'm getting a message no. The hit. You all right? Dude.
Yeah, draw is great for Canada.
Mm-hmm. It is great for Canada.
It's
It's
less
exactly what they
pressure.
needed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me just have a look quickly. 0-0 is perfect for it's perfect for well 0-0 or any score draw is perfect for you guys. So there you go. So let me have a look at the World Cup fixtures. World Cup fixtures coming up. Spain, Germany on Sunday.
10 seconds left. Some good defending.
And
maybe Croatia will be allowed to have one.
That's it. Game over.
Yep.
So, Manny, what did you make it up? Quickly.
Completely cagey. A few chances. A result which doesn't hurt or help either team. I'm not going to necessarily big up Canada because their match against Belgium will be tough, but if there's a draw tonight, it could be very interesting indeed. Certainly all four teams in this group have claims to be able to go through to the second stage. And Croatia can be happy that they didn't lose, but they will look at, I think marginally at least, they were the better team on the balance.
Okay. What do you make of it, so yeah?
I missed most of the game, but I think for Belgium and for Canada, this is a good result because even if Canada loses Belgium, they're still just 1 point less than Morocco and Croatia. If they can beat if they can beat them two, it can help them a lot. And obviously, it's gonna give both teams confidence now to go through. Oh yeah, I think one of Morocco and Croatia is gonna get out.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So, I like I said, I thought it was a lackluster performance by both. I think it was very tame, cagey at times. I didn't think both teams would really want to overcommit, and it was like they were trying to play to not lose the game, in a sense. So I think both, and then also they were. But yeah, it's certain away because I do think if there was a bit more quality up front, then both one taking it. Sometimes they were a little bit lucky in the way the ball fell in the middle of the park or anything like that. So yeah, for me it's both poor offensively, exactly, Tio. But yeah, look, we're gonna wrap it up here. The other games we've got coming up, we've got Saeed and Moss doing this Germany-Japan game. I can't make that one, to be fair, so I'll have to skip it. So I'll come on the 7 p.m. on Belgium-Canada, definitely. For 3:30 p.m., is Spain versus. We're doing our watch along for Spain versus Costa Rica. That is a game I'm really looking forward to. Last time I remember from Costa Rica, I know it's nearly 10 years ago now, but I did when I last remember them in the World Cup, they really did produce a shock with England in their group stages and Uruguay and the Italians as well. So everyone thought they were going to get absolutely knocked out by finish fourth, but proved they didn't. But yeah, so we got Spain, Costa Rica for that game. Then tomorrow we've got. I'm just gonna mute. He's on the move. We've got Switzerland versus Cameroon, Portugal, then Ghana, then on to match day 2. We are doing straight after. That's tomorrow's games. Now, tomorrow's games, I will hopefully be doing the morning game at the hospital, and be able once I'm finished at the hospital, it should be when the stream finishes. So then we can head straight home, and then I can do the next game at 4 p.m., which will be the Portugal Ghana game, where I want to see Ronaldo cry. To be fair, let's be honest, love it. Then obviously moving on to match day 2, we are doing after all the games have been played, or say all the games have been played, but maybe with the last 15 minutes of the last game in Group H being played. I think it's Uruguay, or the last game on that Thursday tomorrow. That whilst it's the last 15 minutes, we are going to do our group stage match day 1 review and go through each, quickly go through all the games, spend an hour going through the games, what's been our best highlight, and doing our predictions for the next match day, and also revealing the winner of match day 1 as well, for our predictions. If you haven't joined the league, hit that join button. Join the link in below. It's got my code, the link to my Twitter, link to my fantasy league. Just hit the link below, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what,
Join.
Steven?
Yeah.
In your league, you'll find something in common between me, Arsenal, and England. We are all top of the league.
Very funny. Very funny. Yeah. Drop. Yeah. Oh, look. Big shout out to Mike for the donation right at the end there. Big up yourself on £1.79 donation. I really do appreciate it, bro. So yeah, mate. Yeah, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, and obviously he's just finished his stream as well. I'd love to give you a chance to come on, Mike, but I really got to go out with my mum. I really got to get some time out with my mum and that. So I can't stay on and go for a little bit more longer. But yeah, so quickly, after we've predicted all those games, I'm going to be doing for on Thursday. Then it's Group A on the Friday, Netherlands versus Ecuador. Then it's England versus USA. Obviously, I'm doing the England game. Then it's after that is there on. Then the day after that for Saturday will be Argentina, Mexico, and then France, Denmark. Then it's also Belgium versus Morocco on Sunday. Spain versus Germany on the Sunday as well in the evening game. Cameroon then versus Portugal. No, Cameroon versus Serbia on Monday, I believe. Monday being the 28th. Yes, it is. And then obviously Portugal versus Ghana on the 20. Portugal versus Uruguay. Sorry, on the 28th as well. So hopefully the Uruguayans get absolutely hopefully the Uruguayans absolutely trash the Portuguese, like. But we'll see. We'll see. We got no worries, man. You deserve my donation, mate. Always, bruv. Thank you. We'll definitely. Yeah, great seeing. Yeah, definitely great seeing Mbappe get on the score sheet. Giroud on the score sheet as well. More goals than Thierry Henry, Giroud. So there you go in the World Cup. You never thought that, would you? But there you go. We're gonna, and Mike, it was always a pleasure to join your membership scheme as well. I do, obviously. I try and support the channel if I can. I was always happy to donate to your channel by becoming a member. But we're gonna leave it there. Make sure you hit the like, you hit the subscribe, people. You share the stream as much as you can to help raise more money for the charity. But until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, and we will see you guys soon. Oh, before I go, Manny, shout out your chat, shout out your socials.
All right. It is Thangatherai1981 on Twitter. That's my surname and my year of birth. And you can catch me on Instagram at Manny Thangatherai1981, which is my full name and my year of birth. And you can catch me on many channels on YouTube. Big up to Stephen Featley as well for organising this watch along. Glad I was able to join in.
Wicked. Thank you. Say, shout out where you can find you.
Big up, Stephen, big up, Manny. Pleasure to be on with you guys as always. Yeah, you can find me here on SFeatleyTV, and you can also find me on Football Sports TV, and you can find me on my own channel, Kingston, for sure.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get some rest and spend some quality time with my mum for a bit. I think I need it, to be fair. Then hopefully we'll see hopefully the Japanese can upset the Germans, and hopefully we'll see a good game this evening. A good game between Spain Costa Rica at 4 p.m, which will be live here, and then obviously the Belgium Canada game will be 7 p.m. But until then, stay safe, stay well, guys, and we'll see you soon. And make sure, as always, remember this: life is always too short. Make the most of what you've got and live your life to the